Hi, Jeff. Very nice to welcome you back to our training center
Yep.
for the second time.
Yep. It's great to
And
be here.
yeah, and you've been here, what, almost a year ago?
Yeah, I think it's in
9 months?
April, May, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're here for the second time to conduct a workshop called Wisdom of the Heart,
Yes. Yes.
which is, in broad terms, a breathwork um, program.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. I was wondering for whether you could give us some background to this thing called breathwork, because we hear a lot about it on the media,
Yes.
and there may be different types. Maybe you can give us a brief
Okay.
rundown of what that is about.
Okay. Um, yes, I think it's true that there's a lot of conversation about breath work and as I kind of got into it a little over 15, 16 years ago, uh, I found that there are lots of different um, kinds of breath work. So uh, I put it in a context of there's some breath work that is mostly about techniques, so it's learning a certain kind of breath that can have an effect on you, like, you know, um, a simple breath of four in and hold and four out and hold and things like that are great techniques to use every day. And then there's more of what we're looking to do in Wisdom of the Heart, which is we call it transcendent breath work. And the purpose of that is to actually initiate a transformational process. And so it's a much deeper, much longer kind of breath work that brings about some fundamental changes in kind of how we feel and how we think and how we live. So there, breath work is not new. It's something that has been around for thousands of years. In ancient Chinese culture, breath was significant, was talked about. In my time in India, where I learned certain kinds of breath work, uh, you know, so it was very much involved in the Indian culture and the yogas. And so uh, I find that it seems like now we're getting all excited about breath work, but this is something that's been around
Right.
for thousands of years. Um, but it's not something that people think about because our breathing is automatic,
Mm.
so everybody thinks, well, I know
What's
how
the
to
big
breathe.
deal?
I mean, what's the
What's the
big
big
deal?
deal? Yes.
Yeah, I've been breathing all my life,
Mm.
right? So, uh, but there's some real significance in the way in which that we're breathing, and a lot of people breathe in a very what I call shallow way. So breathing into the mouth, into the throat, maybe into the upper chest a little bit, but having a deep diaphragmatic breath is not something that we think about.
Mm.
And so this is what we call a conscious breathing. So, yes, we all breathe unconsciously, but this is a conscious breathing and it has an intention to have an impact on us physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Mm.
So, what are some of the effects that we intend
Yeah,
in this wisdom of the heart in terms of physical, emotional,
yeah.
and so on?
Well, first of all, I think um, when you start doing this kind of work, this is what I refer to as a self-healing modality.
Mm.
So the breath supports us in a healing process. And so by a healing process, I mean that by being willing to consciously breathe, it can affect our nervous system.
Okay. Yes.
And so
Mm.
our nervous system is made up of kind of two. balancing systems, one a sympathetic nervous
Yes.
system and one a parasympathetic nervous system.
Stress response and the relaxation response.
Exactly. So the stress response is what gets us in a fight or flight mode. So it increases our heart rate, it increases our blood pressure, it moves the energy to the core organs and the brain, gets the blood flowing there, kind of shuts down digestion because we don't need that
Right.
when we're trying to
get away
get
from
out of danger.
Yes.
So, but the thing about that is that when we're in a sympathetic nervous system, it's only intended to be there for a short period of time. It's like enough to get away from the situation or to handle the situation in some way. At least what I'm finding is that in today's society, people are kind of thrown into this sympathetic nervous system is engaged, and it's engaged for quite some time.
So that's what they call chronic stress. I mean, it's over longer than that temporary period that you mentioned.
So a chronic stress, it has a detrimental effect on us physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, in all ways. So it's like a lot of doctors, most doctors, I think, would say today that many of the illnesses that people experience are stress related. So how do you bring our system more into balance?
Okay.
And of course, the parasympathetic nervous system is the relaxation response. How to bring the blood pressure down, the heart rate down, get blood flowing to, extremities. And, one little thing I do is when people, want to know about this stress response, what I ask them, some people, do you have cold hands? And I mean, not always, but usually cold hands means that their system is in a sympathetic nervous system that's being triggered.
So it's an indicator of
of stress, and that it's pulling the blood away from the extremities, and that's why our hands are cold. So, so one way that the benefit of doing this is how to start self-regulating, how to bring this your system into balance. And the other thing I think is it strengthens your immune system. So when you start doing this, you develop a stronger immune system. You can handle, things better physically, but also emotionally. It brings our emotions more into a balanced state as well. Less reactivity. That was one of the things that I noticed most, is that the more I did breath work, things where I might have reacted before, I wasn't reacting to. And so they're subtle things, but when people, after they do this kind of breath work, they start to, if they stop and look, they start to realize they're not reacting the way they used to react.
So there's a self-management element to this?
I think that's a good way of putting it. How to manage yourself in all aspects of your life, and get a greater sense of, I hate to use the word control, but because control has kind of mixed things.
Yeah, that's right.
But a greater sense of
how do you say,
control.
equilibrium or
Equilibrium,
something?
balance.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so that suggests that it's not just physical,
right?
It's also emotional, especially.
Yeah, emotional in the sense that when we go have these different experiences that life throws at us all the time, which, there's things that we react to, relationship things that have caused us stress and anger and fear and all the different, in a way, traumas in life that we experience it actually gets stored in our body. It's
Right.
actually
Yeah.
we hold it. It's like
I've read the word encoded.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's a good word. It's encoded in the cells in our body,
Mm.
and so what breathing does is it begins to open the cells and release what we call toxins,
Mm-hmm.
those negative emotions, negative thoughts, as well as actually physical toxins like what we breathe in, what we
Mm-hmm.
eat, that's being stored in our body. And and so when we do this kind of breath and we release that, we get more freed up.
That's the healing part that you're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah. So there's a sense of uh, not only healing, I would say, but it's
Clean
a,
up?
a real sense of well-being.
Okay.
So, I well-being and peace and tranquility. So it's bringing about a state that most people would love to be in.
Right.
Yeah,
And so that process would play out during this weekend
yeah,
workshop.
yeah.
And and there's a question about how often should what are the benefits of repeating this workshop?
Mm,
It sounds like it's not like learning something,
mm.
but you advocate kind of like redoing it.
Yeah. I I call it you want to create a breathwork practice.
Okay.
So so this is not something that once I do it, I go, okay, I've had that
That's
experience
right.
and
Yeah.
that's it.
Mm.
It's really about how do you maintain it. It's much like physically working out. It's not if you go to the gym and
Yes,
work
yeah.
out once, it doesn't mean you're going to be healthy.
Right. Yeah.
But if you go every day and you do things on a consistent basis, it brings about a change.
Mhm.
So this is very much the same. So we the workshop is 3 days and the purpose is to have people have a deep experience of how the breath work can bring about a
Right.
change
Mhm.
in all ways, and then for them to create a practice that they do every day. Ideally, it's like a form of meditation. We're
Right.
just using breath in that, which in most meditations, the breath is always involved. When I first learned meditation 50 years ago, I started with just noticing the breath.
Right.
And when you notice the breath, that alone can bring about change.
Mhm.
To notice it and have it become slower, deeper, quieter, and it brings about a real state of relaxation. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that weekend for someone who's never done it before would be a beginning of something that you would like them to continue.
Yeah. And we talk about that, about what kind of practice they can create. And I give some examples and people, afterwards, I mean, I've heard lots of stories of, what's happened for people as a result of that.
Mm.
And it's a really, it's a way of taking charge of your life,
Mm.
taking charge of what is it that you want to create in your life, and being able to really influence it through your breath.
So if they come back for a workshop a year later, then
Yeah,
you are
it's something I like to do
Mhm.
myself a couple times a year, where I go and be with somebody that facilitates breath work for me, and I just find it beneficial that you do
so
it.
you how do you say? You would be a student of someone else's
Yeah,
breath workshop breath
yeah,
work. Yeah.
yeah. I've been a
Okay.
student many times.
Right. Okay.
You're always a student,
Mm.
as I look at it. Uh, you're never there, but you're always becoming. So,
So this we're going to do. We have this workshop tomorrow and
yeah,
the next 3 days.
yeah,
And you've got some students in this class that were here last year when you were last year.
yeah. That's what I hear. There's a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
They were here last year, so that's great. I love having people come back because they will have a completely different experience.
Okay.
The one thing about wisdom of the heart is that wisdom of the heart is not only about breath. I mean, that is the vehicle that is used for what I call transcendence.
Mm.
So transcendence is about how can I create a state of being and awareness that's beyond where I am now.
Right.
So once you do that, then you've changed the field. It's like I'm playing on a different field now. I'm in a different state of consciousness and awareness. And when I come back to do wisdom, I'm at a different starting point.
Right.
And then it's like, how do I transcend to the next level?
Right.
And so people will find, what they experienced the first time that may be completely different than that this time. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for the
Yeah.
explanation. Maybe you can close with explaining the word wisdom of the heart.
Yes.
Why we call it? Why would you call this workshop by that name?
That's an interesting one because we talk a lot about the breath.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the key things about in the breath that I talk with people about is that when you breathe, if you start to feel like you can breathe from your heart, now that sounds, a little odd, but that one thing I've realized is that the heart sends more signals to the brain than the brain does to the heart. And so if you can bring your heart into a relaxation place,
Okay.
to really be in tune with your heart. And your heart is, and I don't mean it just in a physical sense. The heart is your emotional center, your
Yes.
spiritual center. There's this place that it's in our intuition, that the more in tune we become with our heart, the more in balance we create what I call the coherence with the mind
Mm-hmm.
and the heart. The greater state of well-being and peace that we create. So I think the wisdom comes from our heart.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledge is the mind.
Right.
So I make a
Yes.
distinction that the mind is, we can learn a lot of things, and you're going to learn how to do the breath work.
Mm-hmm.
But wisdom is something different. It's beyond intellect.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
our natural knowing, our intuitive
Okay.
state.
Yes.
And the more people are in touch with that, the greater sense of not only well-being but accomplishment too. People, this is when we're in our most high-performing state.
Right.
When our mind and our body and our heart is in balance.
Yes.
And we can achieve so much more when that's true. When we're in a stressful state, we're less productive.
Right.
So wisdom of the heart is, as we do this, you begin to live your life from what I call from the inside out, from your heart out.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Jeff.
Yeah.
That helps clarify a few things, and I now understand what's behind the word wisdom of the heart.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to
this weekend.
this weekend. Be great. We have a full group, and
Yes.
so, and I guess people are waiting to get in as well. So
Yes.
that's great.
We're almost starting a waiting list now.
All right. Good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.